What's going on, guys? We are back coming at you with one more game today of UK League of Legends action. My name is Munchballs. I'm joined by Orcs once again. And what a match we just witnessed.
What a game. It felt so back and forth. I felt like there was a point where I was like, Eminem got this in the bag.
Yeah.
And then feeling just absolutely bounced back.
Just an insane. And also, Bear Tree just wandering down the side in the top lane, just getting 2 turrets during a dragon fight. That was so pivotal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have our MVP for the last game. So we'll get thrown up, and it is Wisdom on the Pike. Massive kill participation, and we said it, he was roaming as much as he could from minute 1. Yep. Moby Boots first, didn't even upgrade his support item. He wanted to make things happen. I mean, honestly, I feel like because Bear Tree had a slow laning phase and didn't do much then, you can't really give it to him. But that final team fight, he did so much with his ult and the barrels. I mean, all 3 of him, Wisdom, and Achu did monstrous amounts. But Wisdom, well deserving of the MVP. And also because he asked me not to predict their team. And so I didn't. And it freed them from my curse. Because whenever I predict a team,
truly,
they're destined to lose.
A UK esports hero.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. So I feel like teams will stop bribing me. They'll send me like a box of chocolates or some flowers.
The
and like, please don't predict. Please don't predict our team. I'll do anything.
You're not the first caster to believe you have extraterrestrial powers.
No,
it's happened before. But we're going to be looking towards our next matchup now. It's going to be Fnatic Rising stepping back onto the Rift up against Enclave. And this, 2 of the more old school UK organizations. Obviously, Fnatic Rising, though, kind of the new iteration of Fnatic. While Fnatic's a UK org, this is their UK version of their team.
Absolutely, and there's been a lot of changes, particularly recently. They are still running with their top laner Shikari. Bando is not yet eligible to play, but they are running with Ronaldo in the support role, so changing things up.
And there's actually been a last-minute swap-a-route on top of that change-up. Shikari is unable to play today, which means they've had to have an emergency sub of Dan in the top lane. So if there wasn't enough spanners in the works already, there's a 3rd spanner coming out from another side. And Enclave, if you wanted an opportunity to beat Fnatic, this is it. Because this Fnatic roster suddenly has been shaken to its core.
We've joked about flexes so much. We've joked about it a lot, but that is a wild one. And this is the Fnatic roster update. Bando became the new top laner, with Shikari choosing to step down for the starting roster for personal reasons. Ronaldo moves to support as we bid a sad farewell to Prosper. So I believe Prosper, it was just differences between the direction the team was going. He will be looking for a team elsewhere, but Shikari is taking a step back from competitive for the time being. And yeah, they won't be playing either of those today. We'll have Ronaldo in the support role, who has been our multi-role talent so far for Fnatic. And Dan making the return from the LEC to play top lane, sorry. So it's interesting to see how that one comes.
Yeah, and so
down.
just to clarify on that, he is not consistently going to be the top laner. He's not in place of Shikari going forward.
Yeah.
It's just because of roster swaps, because of timing and everything.
Bando isn't yet eligible.
And Shikari's internet isn't working today.
Yeah, so,
so he can't
big
play.
booms.
Unlucky.
But it does stack things pretty heavily in the favor of Enclave. We've seen an upset come in the game before. There's opportunity for it yet.
Yes. There
Especially
certainly is.
since this is the thing, is that a lot of these teams are on low points and they're struggling. But I wouldn't sit here and say that any of them I think are bad teams. I think there's a lot of talent in Enclave. There's a lot of great things they've done. It's just it hasn't meshed together enough. They're on 2 points, which isn't a massive amount compared to Fnatic, but a weakened Fnatic with these new roster changes and having a jungle in the top lane, as well as, you know, they would take time to mesh with the new players anyway. But the fact that they're dealing with Dan being an emergency sub, they wouldn't have been scrimming with him. Dan probably has. I'm not even sure if he's played a top lane game recently.
Dan is just jumping into the blue here. Let's take a look at who's going to be stepping. Oh, actually, we've got a tweet first. I just want to thank Orcscast for finally voting against us so we can win games. That's Wisdom.
You're welcome, Wisdom. I'm here for you.
I mean, he came up strong, and you're absolutely there's your reply as well. The curse was strong indeed. That's only 4 minutes ago. I'm impressed at the expedience.
Actually, I have my arm behind me, and
just tweeting.
I tweet while we're going. If you ever see me put my arm behind, it's because I'm just tweeting in the background.
Wow.
Yeah.
Multi-talented.
Multi-talented.
Cursed caster, tweet star. We need a 3rd title for you. Orcscast voted for Enclave to lose, so it's a confirmed win for Enclave, right? I mean, according to today, that seems to be the case. We all voted for Eminem in the last one, and Phelan managed to take it. We all voted for Fnatic in this one.
Gotta see, it would kind of make it a bit comical, the fact that we all voted the other way and then they ended up winning. But I think if there's ever a week to do it, Enclave, they definitely had a shaky start of the split, but they are looking on the up. They have looked better in recent weeks. And Fnatic, they've even with the old roster, they'd stagnated a bit. It felt like XL were improving, they were sort of at a similar level. They've made these big changes to fix it, but they haven't quite come to fruition because they haven't been able to get the top lane they wanted to play in.
Yeah.
They've had to have an emergency sub who they haven't been scrimming with. It's a lot to take in. It definitely sets Enclave up for their best chances to beat this team.
We'll have to see if it's going to work out for them. Let's see who's going to be jumping onto the Rift here for Enclave. It's going to be Rengus in the top lane, Scoot as a jungler, Beely in the mid lane, and then Kivo and Raisins down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and then we'll fly over to the other roster, which is Fnatic Rising. We've been talking about a lot. It is Dan in the top lane, NG in the jungle, Magifelix in the mid lane, X-Madi carry, and Ronaldo in the support.
And the crazy thing about this is, like, yes, they've swapped a whole bunch of players around. We've got 2 players that are not in their primary roles. We have so much talent on that roster that, honestly, I can still believe that they just take this game.
Yeah, and the big thing is that I feel like although Ronaldo hasn't been playing support, it does look like that's the direction Fnatic are going. From their tweet, they are saying we want Ronaldo to be playing in the support role. It's one of those situations where I feel for support, particularly on a roster like Fnatic's, where they very much look at the jungler to lead. They did so with Dan, they're doing it again with NG. They just want someone who can just be very mechanically skilled in support role, and I've seen it happen before in other teams where the likes of Core JJ moving to support, the likes of Afrin moving to support. They take a mechanically skilled player from another role and move them to support and bring that higher level of play there.
All right, let's take a look at our matchup to watch for this game. It is going to be this mid lane matchup. And we've got Magifelix stepping on the side of Fnatic. He's been on the LEC stage. This is a player that just has, you know, when you look at it, he's one of the absolute best players in this league, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. And Beely, his opposition, is someone who honestly has been one of the if not the strongest performer of Enclave this split. In the last matchup against Fnatic Rising, nearly solo killed Magifelix, and then Prosper Channel came in. It was pretty close, but this is why it's a matchup to watch, because I think if Beely finds some ground in this matchup, everywhere else has been shaken up a bit. Bot lane, it's a new synergy between Matty and Ronaldo. Top lane, you're running with your jungler who's supposed to be playing on the LEC as a sub. It's a lot of
Dan
changes.
is going to be in all chat like, what is this jungler doing?
Yeah, literally.
Silas going to be the first ban of this draft here. Going to be taken away from this one. And again, we've seen this in all of the games today, expecting the flex picks to be the heavy focus in this first ban.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, especially when you're already flexing roles on Fnatic Rising, I think it makes sense to sort of...
Worth mentioning, because of all of the roster swapping and the emergency subbing Dan in, Fnatic have to forego their first ban. So they don't get a first ban in this draft. So Enclave going to be able to get 2 back-to-back, and then Fnatic will answer the 2 as well. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do with this one, but it does open up a lot more for first picks.
Yeah, it does mean that Enclave can definitely have a lot better priority in getting that powerful first pick, but honestly, in some degree, it does mean that a lot of power picks are going to be left open. We have one less ban, and in this current meta, there's a lot of powerful picks, so it does mean that first rotation for Fnatic Rising, they will be able to potentially get their hands on a lot of strong picks. Right now, they ban away the Karma, Kiana, and the Silas banned away from Fnatic, sorry.
Still got a lot available, though. You got the Aatrox, you got the Aurelia available as well.
The Yuumi as well.
Yuumi.
A lot of picks we've seen a ton of priority on. The Akali will get taken off the cards. That means Aurelia is available, Aatrox is. We know that Magifelix will play both. I'm interested to see what Dan will lean towards.
Yeah. And that's one of the big things, right? If you're Fnatic, maybe focusing on getting a comfort pick for Dan is going to be your priority, because if he's a jungle player, you know, maybe he's been practicing on autofill occasionally, but realistically, his pool for top lane is probably not that deep.
What's rough as well is that MG has been during a lot with Bando, the new top laner for the team, who they were hoping to be able to get in time for this week. They've been during a lot. They were teammates together back on Republic of Gamers, the team in France. And obviously they've been scrimming with him, so it's rough to not have that, but instantly the Xayah Rakan locking comes in.
Through. Cassiopeia banned, followed by Sejuani first pick, and then Xayah Rakan, as you said.
So Lovers Duo coming in for the new bot lane. Yeah, and now Enclave, they're in a good position because Aurelia and the Aatrox are open. You have the Sejuani already, so you can easily set up your solo laners. If you pick strong melee solo laners, so Sejuani's in a great position. And actually, Enclave, they might be looking at the Yasuo, and they do actually lock it in. And before we make any assumptions about this being a jungle Sejuani, we have seen teams before play, it was particularly XL, Sejuani Yasuo bot lane. And it means the Yasuo can dash in, easily suck up the passive and lock it down. This is a flex by all means. And to make it even more complicated, looks like Enclave are looking towards the Gragas. Yeah. This would definitely suggest that one of these picks is obviously a flex going to support.
Yasuo is going to have a great time this game.
Yeah, he's
already got 2 knockups on the team.
Yasuo Gragas and Yasuo Sejuani are both like great combos. So you have your choice of it. Instantly, Fnatic Rising will pick up that Crocodile though. Wanting something that can shut down Squishy Yasuo who's trying to dash on fights. You have that targeted stun. You are very bulky. You're a bruiser who can deal with him. And then Fnatic Rising will ban away that Kennen. Still, not much priority being shown towards that Aurelia, towards that Aatrox.
No, absolutely not. And the Renekton, as you say, going to be a brick wall for that Yasuo. And I expect, unless Yasuo goes to the bottom lane, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Renekton just following the Yasuo. Wherever he goes, top lane or mid lane, just following him around the map and just try and deny him
maybe bot lane. Yeah, maybe he's good at, they're going to play AD carry. Yeah, why not?
Xayah mid, I believe. Here we go. At least going to be banned away though, as well as that Kennen. We'll see how these bans in this second phase are going to round out. Looking towards, again, these kind of top laners slash mid laners in the Kennen.
It's just interesting to me, there's so much stuff left. We see so much priority. I keep hammering down this. The Aatrox, Aurelia, so much priority, just being left alone. I feel like if Enclave pick up the Aurelia or the Aatrox, they can have a pretty strong composition that's all around these bruisers trying to dive the enemy team. I feel it'd be very difficult for any AD carry to deal with the likes of a composition that has an Aatrox, a Yasuo, an Aurelia, a Sejuani, and a Gragas. There's so much dive and engage potential. I'm not sure what you could really pick, but they do ban away a lot of junglers on the side of Enclave. It goes over Fnatic Rising.
Jace banned away, which is a little bit surprising. It's not the most common pick that you see coming on through. Does well against Renekton, though.
Yeah, I think that might well be the big thing, is that it does well against Renekton. Fnatic Rising hovering that Skarner would be good for shutting down the Yasuo, would force him to pay that QSS tax, and they will lock that one in. A lot of engaged potential now. Enclave, they have 2 picks here. I honestly would love to just see them go for that full bruiser rotation, but it remains to be seen.
There's kind of a bonus with the Skarner as well, in that Enclave literally just banned away Olaf. They're like, okay, who's... Immediately, Olaf is fantastic against Skarner, because you could just completely negate his ult in that 1v1 jungle match.
I feel like with Enclave, they already have the... They've got enough junglers that we can safely say they're covered for it. They will take the Nico, still a flex pick, and now it comes down to what their final pickup will be. Aurelia, Aatrox still available. Azir has been a big pick for Beely so far, though.
Yeah.
But wouldn't really benefit from picking up that Sejuani. No massive interaction with the fact that you're taking with the melee pick, being able to proc a passive easily. There will be that Aatrox coming in.
There we go.
So they don't go for the Aurelia.
And look at this bruiser comp from Enclave, right? They just want to get right in your face. They want to have these super close range, super messy team fights. And they have a ton of CC to keep you in that battle if you try and escape. And I'm curious to see what Fnatic are going to round this comp out with, because they've got a couple of bruisers there. But Xayah Rakan, obviously Xayah, not going to be wanting to be in the fray like that.
Yeah. And it's difficult because you don't really know what you're going up against. So it makes a lot of sense that Magic Felix will just go for the Corki. He wants something stable and safe that he can farm up on.
Yep.
And now we will be able to see where everything's going to play out. I expect to see the Yasuo Gragas bot lane. I feel like if you're going to synergize one of them with, you could still put the Gragas jungle and the Sejuani in the support lane. But it's
I feel like Gragas support is a little bit more standard.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
it's still not exactly standard, but it's close.
Rengus on the Aatrox, no surprise, he's played that a lot. Beely on the Nico is something new, I believe. It's quite interesting because we do normally expect him to play the Azir, which would be a fairly standard mid lane matchup, but instead going for something more aggressive. A lot of team fighting power overall when climbing for the tower, so it does have a use.
Team fight power in the climb for the tower.
Big one for me is this bot lane. This bot lane matchup can be very volatile either way. Yasuo does so well into the Xayah because you can block all those feathers from being laid down. I want to see exactly how this one pans out. I think it's going to be hyping. I think, once again, Enclave's best chance to sort of dethrone Fnatic Rising, take down one of these LEC sister teams, which no one has managed to do so far this split. They've only taken out each other. And Fnatic definitely looking at a weakened state right now with having to bring in an emergency sub. They also lost that ban. Mighty and Ronaldo, a new bot lane. A little bit of lack of synergy could end up backfiring massively. If you finally engage, they will be punished.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look towards that top lane as well, you've got Dan there. Obviously, not a top lane main. He is an incredibly accomplished player, though. He's a very mechanically good player. So I expect to see him do a decent job in that top lane. But it's actually a relatively volatile matchup as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Renekton into Aatrox is a skill matchup by all means. Has changed a little bit with the changes to Result, and Aatrox has received a myriad of changes. But it can go either way. We saw particularly Whipper when he was playing in the LEC. Some games he'd absolutely stomp. There's some other top laners who would struggle. So it does come down to the skill matchup. And Brengis, he has been monstrous on the Aatrox so far. So if he can punish Dan for his inexperience on the role, it could make things difficult. I see a lot of lanes where Tensi Fnatic can be punished.
Yeah.
The one where I expect them to do really solid is the mid lane. Because Magifelix, he has the cleanse, he has a lot of safety. He's always been monstrous on this Corki, being able to farm up. Even before this split, when Corki wasn't quite as common, he was really comfortable on it.
And I want to ask about the jungle matchup a little bit as well, because we've got Skarner up against Sejuani. To me, on paper, that looks like both just agree to stay in your own jungle and farm until 6. Is that just going to be the case here?
Potentially. I think it probably will be, because realistically, there's not a ton that Skarner can do to gank. Although bot lane is a viable option. Even pre-6, you can just run in. Because the thing with the Yasuo Gragas, you kind of have to be going in to make that lane worth picking. So if they overstep, you can just proc with a stun. We're going to have a bit of a long pause here. We have heard there's been some issues, and Shikari has apparently just appeared. His internet started working, but not going to be able to play because obviously we've already gotten a draft.
Too late.
Already picked up.
Unlucky.
Just missed out on it.
I just think if the last game between the last two teams had gone on an extra half hour, Shikari would be playing.
Yeah, it was.
How crazy is that?
It was a pretty long game, though. I feel like they couldn't ask for more in terms of time there.
We'll have to see, though, because Dan could carry still.
Yeah.
Dan could make this happen.
And it just means if Fnatic get through this, their roster issue would be resolved by tomorrow. They would have Shikari back in the top lane, assuming his internet manages to hold out for a day, which you would hope.
I think it was something to do with he couldn't get to the correct PC. Like, he was in the wrong location, tried to get a train, and the train got cancelled or something. And wherever he was, the internet is spotty. Or something. It's like basically an entire action story plot.
The trains in the UK
being cancelled or delayed?
Being cancelled a little. Wow, I've never experienced that. My train today wasn't delayed by an hour on the way here. No, no.
This is why I drive. This is why I drive. It's not worth it. Also, trains are so expensive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's actually absurd.
Yeah, this is devolved on from a League of Legends thing.
This is no longer a League of Legends stream. This is a complaint about National Rail.
Yeah, I mean, it's just public transport in general. I mean,
it depends.
It does
Public
depend.
transport depends where you are. Because Doncaster's buses, I will say, I don't like Doncaster. It's where I'm from, and I'm not proud of that. But damn, those buses, they're efficient.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it's like...
That's a reference that maybe one person in Twitch chat will understand.
Bus in the morning was delayed, so I couldn't get the bus.
Unlucky.
So I had to grab an Uber to the metro.
Unlucky.
Metro was delayed a bit, but I still made it in time to get my train. Get on my train's delayed by an hour.
Unlucky.
It's just like...
It's not been a good day.
It's not been a good day.
But at least the games have been good.
The games have been good, so it made it worth getting here, but...
Do you regret today?
No, absolutely
Then everything's fine.
It's been good to see you back.
It's been good to be back.
It's your debut back in returning in the UK scene a long time away.
We made it back. I got lost, actually. I was on the way home from the Prem finals. Got lost for a year and a half.
Damn.
And then Forge of Champions happened. I was like in a bush somewhere, I think. And then LVP started and all of that, and the LC UK. And I just suddenly realized that this was all happening. I was like,
I'm going to let you think about that one a bit. LC UK.
The London Championship UK. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, buddy.
It's close enough. It's close enough. You know.
But I figured I should turn up.
If you rearrange the letters, it spells Kulk.
Kulk. That's good. That's good.
It also actually spells luck, but you know that's the obvious one.
That's true. I mean,
yeah, we have just heard we apparently have a picture of Ronaldo now. It has just appeared.
Hey.
There we go.
He does look like a footballer.
He does look like a footballer. He doesn't look like the Ronaldo, but
I can imagine him, you know, kicking a ball about.
I feel like if some big football team just signed them and went, oh, this is our new player, I would be like, yeah, fair.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I believe it. Fnatic maybe starting a FIFA team. I think they probably already have a FIFA team.
Probably.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't follow FIFA.
Me neither. We should ask Dan Gaskin.
Dan Gaskin follows FIFA.
Yeah, we should hit him up.
In a big way. Here we go. Enough about FIFA. Let's talk about League of Legends. We're jumping on into this game. It is Enclave stepping on forward to try and take down the weakened roster of Fnatic Rising. Now, I have a secret for you guys. The Sejuani that you see in the mid lane is actually not Sejuani.
That messes with me so much.
Plot twist?
I do this every game I'm against a Nico. I'm like, wait, why is this every time.
I've seen it before, though. You know how obviously you mimic their health and everything? I've seen it so many times in solo queue because I'm currently gold in solo queue, so I'm not, I'm not at the upper echelons like Orcs is. And you see Nikos occasionally, but they ain't good Nikos. And what you see is they'll pretend to be a tank with a lot of HP, and someone will try and poke them with a long-range skill shot and finish them off because Nico actually had 100 HP. It's like, but why? What was the goal?
I think the one thing that's difficult for Beely here is he doesn't have any ranged champions for him to pretend to be. That's the thing I like to do is, like, if you pretend to be a ranged champion, you can still auto-attack. You still have that animation, but because he's like Sejuani, he's going to have to switch out of it very quickly to lane because if you're walking up to minions to beat them down as a Nico, it's not going to be a fun time.
It really isn't. And already very good positioning coming out from Matty and Ronaldo, getting damage onto Kivo here. He's already having to start Windwall. It's not ideal as Yasuo. If you can't go for that Q or the E to start things off, it's very difficult to have any pressure in the lane.
And level 3 is the big point for this bot lane, the Yasuo and the Gragas. But it's also a big point for the Xayah Rakan. And it's going to be very difficult to hit the body slam against someone with the mobility of Rakan. And also, if you go in on the Xayah, you're liable just to have feathers set up. So right now, Kevo and Raisins just going to have to wait. It's the waiting game.
We'll have to see if they're going to be able to come online. Obviously, that level 6 is a massive power spike for Raisins and Kevo. And we're curious if they'll last long enough to get to that point. There's a lot of feathers down, which makes it very difficult for them to move on forward, but the feathers will melt away. And Mike just doing what he can here.
Kevo got a second CS. Let's go.
Only 12 down.
Yeah, but that does mean that priority's been given, so NG going for invade now.
Yeah, and Scoot, obviously you saw the pop-up. He's not actually disconnected. He is there. You can see that occasional bug on the spectator client. That's going to be Smite coming on through.
He got it.
Scoot does get his buff, but for how long is the question. Stun will come on through onto G. Raisins going to move away from this one, just about surviving. Scoot gets away with his life.
Yeah, good secure. And actually, because of all the time NG devoted to that invade, his falling behind in CS will be rewarded with those Krogs, however. Kevo actually going pretty aggressive here. Has to be careful of NG. But it shows. Once that level 3 is hit, he's in so much better position.
Let's see how the junglers are going to react to this one. Obviously, Scoot used his flash in that situation. So NG now has a big advantage in this jungle matchup. Skarner is going to do well up against the Sejuani in the early game anyway. Even though typically you wouldn't see Skarner looking for early duels, in this matchup, he certainly can.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is that Sejuani has good gang setup because of a passive. But you have to be a bit careful because if he goes too far forwards, you won't have a way out anymore once you use that Q. NG's in a pretty comfortable position as a farmer, but both these junglers really looking for that level 6 point to find their way in this game.
Scoot, though, looking towards this mid lane right here, Magic Felix. Although we have a knock up in the bottom lane, going to be able to get away. Magic Felix as well, I saw on the minimap, does walk away with his life. So he'll be just about fine. NG just going to be clearing his jungle away. Going to be heading back to base to upgrade that item. So far, Scoot! So close to finding the enemy jungler. And NG was on like 200 HP as well.
Yeah, he hung around to get the shrine so that he had more power fighting him. And it meant that he wasn't able to get the smite down to cancel it. And Rengis looked like an unfavorable trade, but he had all those minions backing him up. It goes pretty comfortably, but Dan did have to go for a recall to get some extra fighting power, but hasn't been his TP and seems to be in a pretty comfortable position so far in this lane. NG actually off in Predator. He's looking.
Rengis? I mean, he's fine. He's going to be able to just walk away from that one. Dan, unfortunately, not really close enough for the slice and dice to make that much of a difference. But it does actually have a CS lead right now, and if he does this right, he should be able to set up a freeze in that lane. So Dan going to be feeling pretty happy with this lane, considering he's a jungler, considering he's the emergency sub stepping in here. He's doing a fantastic job on this Renekton.
Yeah, he's doing solid, and he's actually got a pretty significant CS lead now because Rengus, after recall, doesn't want to use his TP because then he would be at a disadvantage, and it would sort of be to the detriment of his team as a whole. So, yeah, I mean... Yeah.
Phenomenal stuff coming out from him. Rengus,
why not just keep down top lane?
Yeah, Rengus going to have to hold on to his TP as well. So, just a 14 CS lead there to start things off. And the question is, can he maintain that? Now that Rengus is based as well, they're going to be about even in items with good damage onto Rengus there. Dan going to be traded back on, though.
Yeah, Dan now hitting the level 6 means no all-in potential going to be available for Rengus. Have to be cautious with that dominance possibility. The extra HP and that burn, super significant in all-ins. Rengus going to put a ward down, cautious. They could be died, but NG on the other side of the map, just happy to farm away. Once again, these junglers both looking to get their level 6.
Yeah, and once that point hits, that's when things might just kick off. Raisin's going to get a knock-up onto Matty. Kevo goes in as well, but Matty's going to be able to walk away, and Ronaldo jumps back out with him as well. Very nicely disengaged from the side of Fnatic Rising. Scoot came down. He wanted that to go on further. It's not going to happen.
Scoot has to be careful, though, here. The Shrine wasn't actually picked up by NG. Didn't get it in time. And NG,
he's gone very aggressive for this one. Teleport channeled, but is it too late? NG survives just about, and Dan now going to arrive with the dominance. Kevo immediately dropped, and NG walks away. Scoot going to be the next target. Rengus desperate to get onto that Scorpion, but he's got nowhere to run, and NG just baiting him at the edge of vision. There's nothing you can do, Rengus. He's going to go down in this one. The whole team is here. Raisins wants to help, but that's going to be 3 early kills for Fnatic.
And just a massive overcommit coming out from Enclave. They saw the low HP bar of NG, and all of them dived in to try and finish him off. There was no reason. He's out the fight. Focus on the 4 members in front of you. Massive overcommit. Fnatic punish, as you'd expect, and already storming ahead in this game.
And phenomenal presence from Dan as well when we take a look at this replay.
I mean, NG escapes, and he just provides bait because first Kevo flies in on him, doesn't manage to finish him off. And then Rengus, he comes in the back of the team fight and opts to use all of his abilities, all of his cooldowns to try and find the Scorpion. It's like he's not going to join the fight anymore. Focus on the remaining 4 members, and instead just baits himself. Both him and Kevo got greedy, saw blood in their eyes, and they end up giving the whole fight over to Fnatic.
Nothing they can do, and NG now going to grab his red buff. But you saw Dan's positioning in that fight. Immediately goes straight towards Beely, pushes him away, and kept Raisins out of the fight as well. He got the kill onto Scoot, so he basically removed Scoot, Beely, and Raisins from the fight single-handedly, which meant the rest of the fight was basically a 4 versus 2.
Absolutely, and not a good start for the game. Kills distributed fairly evenly. And there's a lot of power on this side of Fnatic at every point really of the game. Early game might be a little bit slow, but they've handled that very well.
Doesn't feel that slow to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, just from their composition, their mid-game, very powerful. Their late game, monstrous with a Corki and a Xayah. It's not to say Enclaves isn't, but there's no point where Enclave can just sit and say, it's cool, we'll find them later.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a difficulty. Obviously, they do have that Yasuo. In all situations, Yasuo can just pop off. If the knockups are there, I mean, you've got the Aatrox in the top lane. You've got the Sejuani in the jungle. You've got the Gragas support as well. There's lots of knockups available to set this Yasuo up for success. But until he's got a couple of items, that success is not going to exist.
Yeah, you need that burst in the team fights. You need the extra crit chance. And actually, they're looking for something here.
Here we go. Blade Caller going to be available for Matty. He's out of mana, though. He isn't going to be able to go for that one. And it's going to be Kelvo going down. Everyone arriving for Fnatic. It's 2 kills going their way.
And just a massive mistake. Kevo had an opportunity to ult Matty. He would have reset his shield, got a ton of damage down. The body slam from Raisins came in, and he did not press R. Just another mistake coming out from the bot lane.
Dan wants a fight by the looks of things. Dominus comes on through, but Rengus is happy to fight him. Dan actually has to flash away from that one. And he was the one starting the fight.
Yeah, the extra healing coming out from that ult from Rengus means he's in a really powerful position to continue those extended trades. Dan has to flash away, showing a bit of his greenness in this top lane.
Yeah, unfortunately, underestimating that matchup a little bit will be forced home, and that's his CS lead gone as well, as those minions will crash on into the tower. Doesn't have his teleport available. But so far, things are looking phenomenal for Fnatic. 3,000 gold lead. They've got a Mountain Drake as well to boot. And look at where all of that gold is sitting right now. X-Matty, 2-0-2. He's already got a bounty over his head. And look at his lane opponent. Kevo just doesn't have anything to work with. He's got attack speed from his boots, but he doesn't have any crit just yet. Yeah,
no chance to get that lucky crit. Obviously stacks pretty heavily, but attack speed beneficial as well for you, so it shortens the cooldown on the Q. But the big thing for me was the fact that he misplayed the early team fight, and then in the last skirmish didn't find the opportunity to ult, even though the knockup came in from Raisins. Raisins still not level 6, however. Still not in a position where you can just press R and allow Kevo to do the same.
Yeah, and that's an issue when your support isn't 6 at this stage in the game, because look at the highest levels in the game, right? 9. Raisins now only just hitting level 6. He was 4 levels behind the mid laners at that stage. That is a huge XP discrepancy.
Yeah, gotta say though, Feely has managed to keep up his CS mid lane, but Magic Felix from those skirmishes has picked up so much gold on the back of those kills and assists. And now, 3 members focused on top side. Fnatic will use that Herald. Really solid trade back on a Magic Felix, but I feel like he's just a bit too bulky to get poked down on the back of that Phage.
Yeah, and this is going to be a turret coming down in the top lane as well. It's going to be NG and Dan focusing this one down with the Rift Herald. And so far, objective control has been immaculate for Fnatic. They've got the Herald, they've got a Dragon, they've got top lane tower now as well. All 5 plates going to be going their way. In the meantime, though, Enclave are going to be able to trade this out in the bottom lane.
Magic Felix is coming.
This could turn into something beautiful here. Fnatic trying to collapse. Oh, the knockup comes on through. Ronaldo's gone in. The wind wall is going to block Matty for a little bit. Ronaldo jumps back on out though. Kevo's so low, has to flash away. In comes the ultimate, and in comes the play caller. Matty flashing back on out, but he's bitten off way more than he can chew. Pop Blossom isn't going to hit anyone from Billy, and now NG's re-returned into the fight. Gets the ultimate down onto Raisins, and it's going to be 2 for 1.
And Fnatic are winning every hour on the map. They get that top lane play, they get the tower, and then they return to shut down Enclave, who, although they get 4 plates, they don't finish the objective, and now they will lose their bot tower and forfeit, or at least a good chunk of it.
Yeah, it looks like this tower may well go down, but Matty did drop, so a lot of their damage is not available to push onto this objective. Magic Felix will be able to do a lot on the Corki, though. They'll be able to proxy this wave. Next wave on the way. Scoot actually comes on in and forces the flash out of NG. And maybe they can't take this objective after all.
Yeah, big hit. Getting that flash from the Skarner, obviously a massive tool. Just a bit disrespectful going over, committing for that tower, but Fnatic still massively ahead in this game.
Yeah, I mean,
the observers could quickly show the gold. I'd like to have a look at the differences there, especially with all the plates that came in.
Yeah, I mean, at the top, the gold is 5,000 already. It's absolutely massive. I would love to see who individually has that, but when you're looking at the scoreboard, you're looking towards Magic Felix, you're looking towards Matty.
Observers, could I request the gold, please? Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, the big one is...
Oh my god, look at mid. 1,500 gold lead for Magic Felix at 14 minutes in the game.
I mean, it's Klepto and it's all the kills he's picked up. Look at top. We saw Rengus doing so well, but all the plating has just put him massively ahead in this top lane matchup. Dan, who was struggling a bit in the matchup, burning his flash and all in, ahead in gold by a significant amount.
And now a mid lane tower going to be going down here as well. And you know, Beely looking for an engage, but he's not going to be able to find that one. Fnatic well and truly in control. NG going to move on forward, finds Rengus here. Will get knocked up, and actually a lot of damage coming on through. Ooh. Beautiful ultimate from Scood, and they've got lobster for dinner.
Just great. Found all the sweet spots. Rengus showing his promise on this champion. Scood with a great ult to follow up, and NG punished for being in that flash earlier. It's good to see some life from Enclave, but still a long way to go before I'd say they're back in this game by any means.
We'll see if they can continue to find these kind of picks, though. And we can have another look at this little replay here. NG getting caught out. Beautiful knockup, but there is the ultimate. That's going to be all she wrote.
The ultimate perfectly sets up the last sweet spot. There's so much damage, especially with the extra AD from the ult. And Enclave finding some life, showing They do have something they can work with, but still, just under 5,000 gold behind, and Fnatic set them to take their next streak of the game. Will be an Ocean. This point, probably not the most impactful. Next will be an Ocean as well.
I'd love to see them rotate down to bottom lane right there as well. Obviously, you can see Yasuo heading back to base. The turret's already incredibly low. And you got MagiFelix there to try and push through onto that objective. I think they should be able to finish this tower off.
Yeah, pings come out. They were making sure Mighty could get priority in the mid side safely. And now they'll move towards this. MagiFelix with the Triforce should just be able to shred through this. Another reason as to why he's so far ahead in gold is, take a look at that inventory. He has a Cull. Obviously, a lot of extra gold being picked up from that, but he's just been fine farming
Yo,
mid lane.
MagiFelix? That was a little overzealous. I'm amazed he just walked away from that. There was like, what, 4 people in the bottom side jungle for Enclave, and he went all the way up to Krugs.
Yeah, but when you calculate how many accounts he had in top 10 Challenger, you know, he had more than all of them put together. So 1v4, easy.
He's definitely better than I am, that's for sure. Here we go. NG, though, gets his Predator on. Raisins will roll himself over that wall. Doesn't body slam anything, but he does body slide to safety.
Yeah, it does keep him safe, but it shows the control that Fnatic have. And what I'd like to see is that NG and Ronaldo are just permanently together as a two-man unit. And NG brings speed with the Predator and also the Shrines, and then Ronaldo has the ability to keep up with him. Anyone who's caught out will just get locked up, and it doesn't matter if it's Dan, MagiFelix, or Maddie. All 3 of them have the damage to provide to follow up and find that kill. Even on someone tanky like Scood, the damage that they're able to put out is just massive.
It really, really is. And you can see, even the CS, we're starting to see a little bit of discrepancy here. In that mid lane, there's a 20 CS lead. In the bottom lane, there's about 14 CS lead as well. So not massive, massive CS leads, but they're indicative of how these lane matchups have been going so far. NG, though, is going to be caught out once again. 3 members from Enclave. This is the sweet spot for them, apparently, but NG actually going to be able to get away with this one. Ults onto Scood, damage onto Raisins, but he's going to go golden to save himself. NG goes down, first casualty of the fight. Now Ronaldo just about gets away with his life. MagiFelix has arrived, and this is utter chaos. Matty gets 1 kill onto the likes of Kevo, who's had the worst game of his life so far. Dan now jumping onto Rengus. He wants some revenge for the laning phase. Will get knocked up, and Rengus gets away.
Yeah, and it's just a great collapse from Fnatic. Once again, NG buys so much time before he dies, and they end up getting 3 members for 2. Not a massive favorably trade. Enclave definitely can't be too unhappy.
Big damage.
But the big thing there is that Kevo still had both summoners. Raisin still had his flash. I feel like they could have done more to try and find success in this fight, but they very quickly gave up, accepted their fate, and kept the summoner spells. But that does mean flashless bot lane, Fnatic, definitely liable to be punished.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not going to be in the bottom lane anymore. And look at the size of these carries. 4-0-6, 4-1-5. And the thing is, you see so many games where there's a big lead at this stage in the game, but it's rare that you see almost every single penny going into the pockets of your 2 carries.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's such a massive discrepancy in the mid lane and bot lane. Top lane as well, mostly due to those turret plates and the global goal from those towers, but MagiFelix, he has the Infinity Edge on top of the Triforce. So much damage on his abilities from that extra AD, but also if he gets an auto and he crits, that's half your HP bar just gone, no matter how tanky you are.
Let's just talk a second about the fact that coming into this one, you know, Fnatic on paper are the favorite, right? But with the roster shuffles and everything, although actually we could have a fight here. NG going to be knocked up. There's the ultimate coming on through. He goes down. Pop Blossom onto Ronaldo. Will be able to get away with his life, and Dan's onto the middle of this fight. Scoot going to be the next target as he drops. It's 1-for-1 at this stage. And MagiFelix jumps on in. Beely going to hallucinate for a little bit there.
It didn't look great, but a 1-for-1 for Enclave is a win at this point in the game. They are behind in gold, behind in pressure. If they're trading evenly, it's pretty good, but they burn a ton of summoners. Flash from mid and the bot lane. All down now. Fnatic, they're going to look for this bot tower.
The daft thing is that Scoot is actually worth more gold than NG is at this stage. That kill onto NG is actually not really worth anything in terms of gold. Unfortunate situation for the likes of Enclave.
Yeah, I mean, you still get the 300, you'll take that, but in terms of pressure, he is not the one you want to shut down. You're really looking at MagiFelix and Maddie. If they kill MagiFelix, it's 1,000 gold there and then. And Kevo, playing with fire a bit, but you can't really go for that play when Matty still has that ult available. Just dodge away from your knockup.
Yeah. Oh, look at this movement from Enclave, though. Heading towards this Baron pit. Going to look for vision control here.
I think you just rush it. I think you honestly just rush it. And he's on the side of the map. I'm not sure if they're aware, but if you just rush it now, it's your best chance of getting back in this game. You're down 8,000 gold nearly, 7,000 and a half.
The problem is, though, with rush it how? Like, you don't have any damage.
I mean, Yasuo is quite a lot of damage, you know? Nico actually has surprisingly a lot amount of damage because her Q always blooms on the Baron. I feel like with the state of this current game, the fact that at 20 minutes you're 8,000 gold down, I think you go for that 1 in 14 million play. You give it a go.
Do the Doctor Strange.
Yeah, if it fails, well, you're probably going to lose anyway because this game is not looking favorable for Enclave right now.
It's kind of like doing the Macarena, just a little bit more stylish. Well, it's certainly looking fantastic for Fnatic. They didn't go for the Baron Rush, and the gold is 8,000 in favor of Fnatic. And well, the question is, what can Enclave do to get back into this game?
Kill MagiFelix.
Yeah. And Matty. We'll see. NG going to be on the front line. Has to flash away from this one. Knock up onto Matty. That's pretty huge. But he's going to be charmed, knocked up, and taken on out. Kevo will drop immediately. Scoot going to be the next target. But actually, Rengis steps too far forward. And now onto the Sejuani. Ignite ticking away. And that's going to be an ultimate coming out. Matty grabs himself a triple. And you mentioned the Baron going down. But it's not the right team taking it.
Yeah, and now Matty has just got so much gold from that. We talked about MagiFelix being ahead. Matty's in a simple position. They're going to look towards his Baron, and it's going to be an easy objective for Fnatic. Dealey might be going for some sort of miracle play.
It's not going to happen on this one. MagiFelix has got his number and will take a free kill.
That was really the 1 in 14 million for him to get a steal there, but Enclave just falling apart right now in front of the strength of Fnatic, even with an emergency sub. Even with their new roster changes, they haven't had that much time to adapt to. Fnatic, too strong for this Enclave roster as of yet.
And you have to question the decision here from Enclave to go for such a bizarre bot lane. You know, it's not something that's solid in the meta right now. Yasuo Gragas is not something that is a standard go-to, and it's really not worked out for them.
Yeah. And by all means, I think that was that one window. They should have gone. I mean, it's hard to say. We have True Vision. Oh, they're actually looking for that collapse on Matty. Double TP coming in.
Here we go. Matty could be in serious trouble here. Does get this slowdown. Matty will walk away, though, and that's a knock up onto Scoot as well. Look at the CC. Pop Blossom does get onto Matty, though, and he drops. That's a huge amount of gold for Beely. Coming on through. Ronaldo will be the next target. NG trying to get away. MagiFelix, if he falls as well, there's so much gold going the way of Enclave. That's going to be 4 kills, and Dan is nowhere to be seen.
And they find the miracle team fight. They bring both TPs in. It looked almost desperate. It looked crazy, but it worked. 1,000 gold on both of those carries. They shut them down, and it's still looking dire for Fnatic, but they shut down a lot of Baron buffs, and they got a ton of gold in their pockets.
You know that MagiFelix had a big bounty when he still got 150 gold bounty after dying. That is a massive swing for Enclave.
That is real talk bounties. Okay, we're going to just push this way over. You're going to have to back off. Dan coming over, and you can see gold gap still very significant by all means.
Yeah, but maybe we spoke too soon. We were just saying how Fnatic, even with this weakened roster, just going to be rolling through this game, but they've managed to turn things around just a little bit.
There's always hope in the UK scene. Game isn't over until the Nexus is down. A throw is only a stone's throw away.
Well, we'll see how well they can skim on this one as Enclave looking to try and find a way back in. And Kevo, slowly but surely, will start to come online, looking towards
It's the 0-10 Yasuo power spike. We've all heard of it. We've all seen it in our solo games.
I've literally seen it, yeah. It hurts, man. It really hurts.
He's waiting for it. He's working on that second item. Oh, he's got it! Whoa! There we go. He's an item down on MagiFelix and Matty, but
it doesn't matter.
He gets double crit. He's 100% crit. Is Matty 100% crit? No.
I don't think so, buddy. All right? Never underestimate the Yasuo comeback. He's got the crit. If he can get a knock-up, if he can get on... He got onto Matty last fight.
And the big thing is, a lot of flashes available. Beely, Kevo, and Raisins all burnt theirs in nearly a fight before the Baron. Theirs is now back up. Fnatic has no flashes available across the board. This could once again be that opportunity to find the team fight. But TP not available. Rengis having to keep to deal with Dan in the bot lane. This Aatrox was a massive part of their last team fight success.
Here we go. Dan actually going to go in onto Rengis. Does actually pop
NG,
the
you're a bit
ultimate
too far.
immediately. NG charging on in, gets the ultimate, but the rest of Enclave starting to collapse. Fnatic arriving as well. Ronaldo jumps on in, and it's going to be one kill onto Rengus to start things off. It's traded back onto Dan, though. 1-for-1, top for top. Kevo now arriving on the scene. Fnatic hoping that that would go a little bit better. It's not quite worked out as much as they'd like.
Yeah, it does mean a lot of ults are down, though. Reduces all-in potential from Enclave. They clear out the wave, but then they're going to need to heal up. Very low on HP, but a 1-for-1, by all means, you're going to take it. Especially when Dan did have a small bounty there. Just a bit overzealous coming out from Fnatic, and that's the sort of difference between having summoners and not. If a flash was available for NG there, it could have been very different. Kevo, I'm not sure you won this.
Oh,
the
can
damage!
he get the knock-up?
What are you doing?
Through the exhaust as well. Imagine Felix just deletes him.
That just doesn't, no, it just doesn't work like that. You have 2 items, sure, but Magic Felix has a lot more, he does a lot more damage.
He believed in the dream, he believed in the knock-up, but also, he's not worth any gold. So
and he's getting closer.
he's
getting closer.
He almost got the knock-up. It could have been
He's
beautiful.
working on it. He needs that 0-10. He's on 0-6 now.
4 deaths away from victory. Let's see.
Fnatic have to close the game before
proxy
Kevo. They have to close the game before he gets 10 death. It is the prophecy. If he gets to that point...
I want to see Kevo just commit to the death strat, go into the base and farm all 3 minion waves at once. Go full proxy.
Why not? He has Shiv. He has the wave clear. Make it happen. And Fnatic have a triple ocean now. Definitely useful when you have that many stacked up for the sustain, but no actual combat stats. No movement speed from a Cloud. No raw stats from an Infernal. So definitely not dragons that would stop you from being able to team fight against Fnatic. Not going to say they aren't useful. They definitely are. But it's still a lot of power to team fight for Enclave if they find the right one.
That was a nice little route coming out from Beely.
He's too fast for the ghosts.
That is insane. NG is so quick. We'll be able to get on in. Ronaldo gets the knock up here, and that's going to be a massive ultimate onto Kevo. He just can't catch a break this game. Matty going to be able to DPS down Scoot happily over the wall. Beely Pop Blossom onto nothing, and well, this might just be game, ladies and gentlemen. 2 kills already. Rengus only just arriving in the fight. Matty surviving on the back, but he's got a red buff for a little bit of sustain here.
And the triple ocean too.
Yeah,
you can see him healing up already. This could be the beginning of the end for Enclave. They're going to start pushing down this base. 20 seconds on Kevo, 25 on Scoot. Looks like they're just going to back off and play it safe, and the pings are coming out. Baron Asher spawning very soon. Enclave, they lost a lot more than just their inhibitor there.
This is about as comfortable of a position as you can get in a game of League of Legends. 12,000 is the gold lead for Fnatic. They're going to grab themselves a Baron on top of the mid lane inhibitor that they just snagged.
But Kevo is one closer. 0-7. They have 3 deaths to work with.
Wait a second. If you add him and his support together as a bot lane, they're 0-10.
Unfortunately, it does not count. You need 0-10 on the Yasuo.
Sorry.
3 more deaths. I like the attempt.
I'm not an experienced Yasuo inter like you.
I am very experienced. I had one the other day. It was not fun.
No, generally speaking,
I've gone for the disable chat function now. So I just don't, I have to put up with any of that. And I only realized he was inting when he rage quit the game. I thought he DC'd. No, he rage quit. I found out later because someone stole a camp from him and he's flashed in the spot.
Nice.
And then I reported him after the game because he was flaming in the post-game chat. And then a bit later, I got that beautiful instant feedback report. And I was just like, justice has been delivered.
Oh, here we go. Matty with the sneaky move, sidesteps the ultimate. A lot of CC, though, coming on in. He's slowed, knocked up, but the knock-up denies the Yasuo. That's going to be a good enough one, though. Matty goes down. Ronaldo next to fall, and NG has nothing he can do about this one. Raisins will drop, though. They are looking to turn this one around. Magic Felix getting a lot of damage down. He's free firing in the backline. Scoot now trying to get away with this one. NG gonna look on to get forward here. Beely, look at the damage from Magic Felix. Massive chunk taken out of that health bar, and he's just waiting for that W to come back off cooldown. And if he can jump straight in, he will just about end this game.
Strong. I mean, if they didn't have Magic Felix just pumping out damage, Enclave won that fight cleanly. But Magic Felix, flawless positioning, so much damage being pumped out, and they're looking at the Nexus towers, but Enclave have the HP back.
They want to find something here. Kevo
doesn't
have his ultimate yet, but it's not a long cooldown. We'll be able to get that shortly, and Fnatic gonna have to respect the cooldowns. They are gonna back away from this one. 2 inhibitors now.
Oh no, they've lost. Oh no.
Tell me about it. Talk to me, Orcs.
Kev
What's
got
going
a
on?
kill. The 0-10 dream has been denied. It's no longer possible.
Disaster strikes for Enclave.
Enclave's green condition has gone out the window.
He's suddenly worth gold again. It's all gone wrong.
The prophecy has been denied.
Oh,
Wait,
dear.
Ronaldo?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, that is a beautiful little knock up there. Ronaldo's going to go.
Wait,
oh,
he's still
is
alive.
he going to go down? Kevo solo. Look at the autos from
The
Magic
red buff?
Felix there. The burn. And Dan's going to come in from the other side. Matty going to finish that one off. This is going to be all, folks. As this is Fnatic taking themselves a couple more kills. Scoot trying to get away, but there's nowhere to run. Fnatic gonna walk this one in now as they have a 15,000 gold lead. And it doesn't matter which roster they bring. It doesn't matter which players they bring. They're still gonna roll through games.
Yeah, oh my god, that damage on a Beely. The stopwatch will bait out Magic Felix, but...
Oh, he got away! He
Oh,
flashed
and Matty
off of
gets
the fountain.
executed.
And Beely is going to go down eventually. That's going to be the game. Fnatic take a tremendous victory against Enclave.
And they tried. Enclave gave it their all. They looked for the 0-10 Yasuo power spike, but unfortunately they messed up and they managed to get a kill. And as soon as that happened, the game was
It's
over.
all gone wrong.
But in all seriousness, Fnatic showing that even with some complications to the roster, Ronaldo pretty solid in the Rakan. A lot of situations where mechanically he was very sound, found some great knockups. He will be their staple support going forward, so it was good to see him having a good performance. Top lane, Dan did fine. It's not what you'd expect because he's not going to be a permanent part of the roster. It doesn't say too much about Fnatic as a whole.
Yeah.
But considering they had an emergency sub, they dealt with it very well. And the big talking point has to be Magic Felix. Just monstrous on this Corki. I mean, it just feels like you give him anything like a Corki or a Zir and you don't punish him. I mean, even if you do punish him as early, we saw Exile do that. And he just becomes unstoppable. The damage output is obscene.
It really is. When you get those auto attacks with hybrid damage, no less, they just chunk you for like at least a 30 out. It's insane. But also, Matty had a fantastic mid game, did a really good job. Towards the later stages, he was getting popped in those team fights, didn't quite have the impact in the late game fights, but that's okay because you got 2 carries that are mega fed.
And
so
2 carries better than 1. I mean, Magic Felix, mega fed was a bit of an understatement. He had the 1,000 gold bounty. He died, and then
still had 150
But then,
gold.
like within like 20 seconds, he suddenly had like a 550 plus the 300. It's like it's just and then at the end, he once again had the 1,000 gold bounty. And I mean, it's no surprise. No one at home is surprised. We're not surprised. Magic Felix is the MVP. He popped off, and he was just such a staple part of the team.
Yeah, Magic Felix, comfortable MVP on that
96% kill participation. 96%. That's pretty crazy.
I mean, 25 KDA. That is an absurd statistic
I'm
right
sad
there.
we don't get to see the damage percentage because I feel like he would have done a sizable
massive
share.
proportion, yeah.
I mean, this is the reason. This is why this guy's getting some games in the LEC on the Fnatic main roster. It's why a lot of people have had so much expectations. He has had criticisms in the past that he was a bit of a choker. But I think since joining the UK, he has just been consistent.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that Fnatic are doing their best to formulate a team roster that will work around him and facilitate him.
Yeah.
Because by all means, this guy's a massive carry.
Like, when you look at Fnatic as an organization, historically, they pick a player, they build a team around them. When you look at Xpeke back in the day, you look at Reckless following Xpeke's era. You even look at Caps, right? Caps was the next one to follow. They built a team around Caps. Maybe Magic Felix is going to be one of those next players that they start to build around.
Maybe. Definitely got a lot of potential too. So we will have a look at the bracket and just see what's come from all today's games. Had a lot. So we will see Raj going up against Demise in our first semi-final tomorrow, and then Phelan against Fnatic Rising in a second.
Yeah, we have some upsets right there. Phelan moving on forward.
And Barrage as well.
And
Their
Barrage
first point.
as well. Barrage, break the win streak. Oh, break the loss streak, sorry.
Yeah, 5 months lost streak in. Also, a quick look at the predictions.
Yes.
And we can just see how...
It's been a rough day. It's been a rough day for predictions. I managed to get
you know what's really sad?
Three, sorry.
The point I got in Barrage was equalized in game 2.
Unlucky.
Bit rough, but...
GG, go next.
That means I'm still just as far as behind Jake as I was before. At least I can gain ground.
I can see him
with the tower
dancing through the
champion.
window, mocking us. I'm going to blame the other guests before me for not getting enough points.
I'm going to blame past Orcs for my mistakes.
That's fair.
That
That's
guy,
fair.
he always does me
But
in.
future Orcs, he's
It's
got
like,
your back.
it's like whenever I've got a job to do or something I need to get done, he always procrastinates, and it's left up to me. So, you know, not happy.
Not a nice guy. I've met past Orcs, actually.
Yeah.
I was talking to him just a few seconds ago, and not a nice guy.
No.
Not a nice guy.
Present Orcs, however.
Present Orcs is lit, dude. Future Orcs, I hope, will be. We'll find out in a few seconds.
Yeah, we'll see. But if you're interested in following us on Twitter, seeing what goes on, getting involved with the conversation, feel free to follow us at LVPUKLOL. And then you can also tweet at us with the hashtag UKLC. And then if you're interested in seeing replays of today, if you want to see MagiFelix 1v9 again, go to our YouTube, which is also LVPUKLOL. If you want to see some of that past Orcs, he is there as well.
Yeah, just hit him up on Twitter. Get some flame in there for past Orcs. Not for future Orcs, not for present Orcs, just the old one. You know?
Yeah, the old one. The old one who always leaves me in these really annoying situations.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Well, on that horrible note, we're going to end the show for today. We're going to be back tomorrow, though. Make sure you tune in as we jump on into our semi-finals and eventually crown a tower champion. I've been Munchables. This has been Orcs. And we've had Hitbrain on the cast as well. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys tomorrow evening.